Oops. Oh no.
What happened? What'd you do?
Oh no.
What
Here's
happened?
what happened. I saw your name in the corner and I said, well, we can't have Phil's name in the corner while the video's playing. And so I tried to remove you and it removed the damn video.
That's okay. That video was only a couple seconds long anyways.
Oh,
that's great. That's okay. And look, I'm on this side of the screen. Welcome back to the Pleb Undergrounds, the Roundtable. Humble's going to be joining us soon. So for now, it's Ulric and I. That's a great way to start.
It. I'm out of here, man. I ruined it.
Don't forget, usually I screw up playing the video. So usually
I screwed it up.
play. So don't worry. But look, yeah, we've got an awesome show. We've got an awesome show today. Diving into all of the fun drama. We're going to take a look at some MicroStrategy drama. It looks like Ulric found out some truths about some possible misinformation around MicroStrategy. We've got some Tether buying the dip, some Bitcoin capitulation, some institutions buying, forced sellers, corrections, Cramer's ridiculous calls, core versus not, / Epstein / make this all go away. Yeah, an SBR update, getting margin called. We've also got this really interesting thread about the Bitcoin culture, right? It's interesting how we all have these varying opinions, and nobody. I mean, you know how it goes. Nobody can really truly define what Bitcoin's culture is, but everybody's ready to tell you what it isn't. So it's kind of interesting. Anyways, yeah, we're going to take a look at that, but you know the deal. Before we take a look at all of that stuff, we are going to give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor, and we are going to be right back, and we're going to get started right away with the stories. Let's freaking go.
Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium.
So we're like dead at 88K. 88.1. We've been doing this slow crawl and nobody cares because it's 88K, right? Remember that first time we hit this level? Everyone was so excited. Now everyone's so sad. So sad. So
directionality is important.
Yes. Directionality is very important. It ain't no 126K. And then when you talk about inflation, it makes you feel even worse that it's sitting at 88K. But anyways, right. It's like, it's okay. I digress. This Swan Desk. Anyways, I didn't realize this was run by Jacob Kinge or something like that.
How did you find that out? I couldn't see it.
I found that out recently because I took a look at his account and I realized that he's the one that shares this crap. But anyways, yeah, he has me blocked for obvious reasons. But this whole thing about Sailor Strategy stock to be delisted from the NASDAQ 100 and MSCI USA, which of course the MSCI USA has to do with this whole JP Morgan suppressing MicroStrategy shares, and it's this whole entire plot. Anyways, the stock is deep underwater from its BTC investments. Ulric, you got an update for us on this. Apparently, this is. Not entirely so?
Yeah, he got what do they call that when he got community noted, man. So it's not MicroStrategy is not being delisted from the NASDAQ 100. It's getting warned about the MSCI USA pending a decision in mid-January. So I wouldn't this guy could stay on the up and up, but he chooses to there we are. I'm sorry, I lost it for a minute. He could stay on the up and up, but he chooses to take extra steps to make things more viral. No, I'll be honest, I didn't even know what the MSCI was, but I know what NASDAQ is. And so it's like he's looking for that 40K views as opposed to the 10K or 8K views. And look, he was pretty right with the flywheel effect. People were saying, all the Bitcoin influencers were saying flywheel effect good. He was saying flywheel effect bad. And at the end of the day, assuming this was the year to go up, it didn't. It went the opposite direction. Didn't even hold steady with the performance of Bitcoin. So he could have taken the high road, but just like whether it's Bitcoin influencers or overall influencers on X, they're going to lie to you for the sake of sensationalism. So let's be cautious on both ends.
Sorry, as you were mentioning that, it made me think of a comment that we got today that somebody said we're burning our credibility with dumb videos like this. And the video
that was
MicroStrategy.
Me.
Yeah, why it's a joke and what happens next. And it's funny. It's like I in all fairness, being critical, right? Being critical of a business that doesn't make enough money to meet its obligations without creating debt or without creating these financial products. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't help but be critical of this, right? Because throughout history, businesses need to have money, even if it's fake, right? Still need to have money coming in order to pay the employees and to keep the lights on. It's just logic, right? So at some point, what happens, right? Do they become net sellers of their Bitcoin? I understand there was that video going around. It's like, even if Bitcoin goes to what is it? If it goes to $1, right? He still doesn't have to liquidate. Doesn't matter about the liquidation. Nobody seems to understand. It's not about liquidations, okay? Lehman Brothers had $10 billion under assets. They didn't get liquidated. That's not about that. It's about market perception. Nobody cares. Anyways, it's okay. It's fun stuff. But look, again, it's a lot of FUD, and you always have to double check it. And MicroStrategy, for all intents and purposes, at the moment, is not falling over. Okay, so
all I said was that they are diluting their shares, and they don't perform at the same. They're not performing at the same level of Bitcoin. And this burner account comes out and gives some sort of negative comment. The best thing I could say is, hey, if we're getting those types of people now, then the pleb underground may be growing a little bit, and we can thank our loyal supporters for that one.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. All right, let's go take a look at some more fun stuff. I don't know. I think you put this one for us in the nest here, made this diagram in 2020. This is Jesse Myers to describe MSTR. True then, true now. And the basis for any BTC treasury company strategy. Short fiat, long Bitcoin. But you need operating income.
I mean, the
lines.
Its assumption is it's like, Bitcoin is going up. What's the going rate now? 50% annual, 25% annual. I hear 50, 25. I've heard 35 once. It's not a nice round number though. You have to have those perfect round numbers. But with this year, if we say even, or even 10% up, let's just say we go to 110 at the end of December. That's kind of people. You can't listen to the influencers that say you're going to get 50% annual gains on your Bitcoin anymore. That's just fraudulent. And so these types of generic paper, it's like paper napkin diagrams. It has a lot of it takes a lot of assumptions into account, and you really nowadays you don't really know what Bitcoin is going to do in a certain time frame. And with also from a humanity standpoint, that time, that x-axis, we don't have. That's a ray going out into infinity. We don't have that long of a time frame. We are a line segment. We have a dot, and then that's it. So the catch is, what is it going to do for you in that time frame
between those dots?
These assumptions that we will last as long as institutions. I think the influencers need to change their narratives to how it's going to impact the individuals. Otherwise, they end up being that's a form of Keynesianism, or Keynesians. Keynesianism, is that how you say it?
Keynesianism.
But yeah, it's not. It's not Austrian economics, because Austrian economics focuses on the individual, and this chart does not give me any individualism. It gives me very, very much corporate, collective vibes. Very bad.
Look, it's in terms of its simplicity, it's fantastic, right? It gets to the point. Unfortunately, everything you don't see in that chart is kind of what matters. It's fantastic to borrow dollars to buy Bitcoin at a dirt cheap rate. I don't disagree with that. Okay. If you have money coming, it sounds crazy again, right? If you have operating income, right? Then sure, Why not? There's nothing wrong with that, because you can service the debt, no problem, without using debt instruments in order to service that debt. And of course, people think that they can just do this into perpetuity. And indeed, for a time, it may work. Okay. However, this chart is missing that entirely, right? Entirely, that you need an operating income in order to sustain this. Otherwise, at some point, okay, these businesses, unfortunately, become net sellers. Anyways.
Then you can say that you can stay solvent more than the market can stay irrational, but not if your basis is not solvent.
Right? Like, sorry, you need to be able to withstand those dips and valleys. And I also, right, to that point, I mean, MicroStrategy has made it through one downturn. However, they did not have as many instruments as they do, as many of these financial instruments as they did during that downturn. And they did not have as many obligations as they do. Granted,
they're very clean.
So it was a different story. It was a bit of a different story. And again, I'm not saying that they're going to fail or anything like that. You know, it's like, I'm not like a hater. I don't want them to fail. I know what's going to happen to the Bitcoin price because of perception, right? Like, people, it's not, not rocket science.
Right.
But at the same time, I also, I don't want them to grow and fail spectacularly as well, right? Like, you kind of want them to get on the right track sooner than later. Obviously.
It would be nice for them to truly be a NASDAQ 100 staple, as opposed to a company that's going to blip in and out of all these indexes because they can't seem to hold themselves together. And I understand Bitcoin is volatile, but somehow you kind of have to fix yourself, as a company, to, if you're really going to be respectable. What do respectable companies look like? And they're not going up and down like a roller coaster. So clean it up, MicroStrategy.
That's right. Clean it up. Yeah, just added an overlay for us. Fun. Anyways, so take it away. So this post.
Hello.
This post. Yeah, man. Well, okay. I'm gonna get right to it. WTF is amplified BTC.
Yeah.
Why? The misrepresentation, the misframing, the pretending, right? Because we all know what amplified BTC means, right? You know what vehicles are amplified BTC, right, Ulric?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything everything we've been dealing with for the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. Yep, your amplified BTC. Oh, let's go take a look at some of those amplified stocks. Which one you want to look at?
But that's not what they called it before. They called it Bitcoin Treasury companies.
It was accretive dilution. Hold on, let's go take a look at some of them.
Accretive dilution, Bitcoin Treasury companies, leverage BTC, leverage play on Bitcoin. Why do they keep changing the words? Because those words, those phrases become old. They become toxic. They start developing a negative connotation. It's interesting. Oh my goodness. How many times I see this chart so many times, it's starting to, I don't own any, it's starting to hurt me. It's like, damn.
Metasplat. Go take a look.
Oh my gosh. That was
accretive dilution. Look at that.
That's the second best. That was one that was supposed to be great. It's like, but the catch is like, they're using new words to trick, whether it's newcomers or to lull the disenfranchised to sleep. These are marketing terms. These are, and not even marketing terms. These are crooked salesman terminology. Okay, this is the guy who knocks on your door and is trying to sell you. Hey, it's like, hey, sell me this pen. It's like, I don't need a pen. But guess what? It's not about whether you need a pen. It's about, they're going to tell you, Wolf of Wall Street, they're going to tell you everything you need to hear so that you don't even know why you're buying what you're buying. Let's have our feet firmly under our feet, and let's call lies lies. Let's call bad things, or dangerous things. That right there, that MF right there is not real, to quote another meme.
Number one, I'm taking a chance. Number two, I don't know what I'm doing. Number three, I have no conviction.
And what is to reach 100% exposure? 100% exposure of
no, because you don't understand. Because that way you get exposure to the amplified gains that the Bitcoin treasury companies are going to provide you, right? So it's not enough that you hold the best asset, the unfuckwithable money, the fact that nobody can touch it. That's not enough. Those qualities, right, that everybody's clamoring for, that we want, it's not enough. You can get better paper qualities. That's the full exposure, right? Because if you just have BTC, you're underexposed to the potential. It's pure bullshit, man. It's complete nonsense.
They'd have something if they'd all didn't perform negative 80% like every single cryptocurrency out there. I mean, honestly, let's call it what it is. Solana has done better than all the Bitcoin treasury companies. You got all of these different cryptos out there, and it starts to sound blasphemous, right? How dare you? Oh my gosh, the shit coin. But what are we working with here? We're working with the same formula in unlimited supply, uncontrolled rules. And just because they happen to hold Bitcoin doesn't make them the hard asset that we have grown fond of, that we are saying is going to one day change the world. They're operating by the rules that are closer to crypto. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And can you blame it? I mean, operating costs, they have to pay that kindly bill. That's the paying the operating expenses, paying the which, by the way, is nothing but executives and accountants and finance engineers, millions of dollars. Their salaries are not tied to the performance of the stock. They get guaranteed income.
Oh no, they got paid. Yeah, no, they totally got paid.
They got
paid.
You know what?
We were one of the few channels to say this from the beginning, and got a lot of crap for it. But better quality companies are the ones that needed to hold Bitcoin, and the better quality companies, they don't need to use the Bitcoin treasury showboat in order to do that. They just buy and they hold Bitcoin. Right?
Tesla,
Melly, Tesla, SpaceX. It's like they buy in, they hold it, and they accumulate it. That's all we need. And those businesses, right, that are cash rich, they can afford to hang on to it. Right, when there's a downturn, they don't have to sell it. They can actually acquire it.
They don't have to hire a Bitcoin influencer in order for them to get more people to buy their company. Tesla is making robots and automatic driving vehicles. They own 20,000 Bitcoin. Guess what they don't need? They don't need me going up there, hey guys, buy my Bitcoin treasury company that's Tesla. They don't need me. They don't need you. They don't need
got a product.
They don't need they don't need anyone. They don't need Michael Saylor. They're doing fine. Why? Because they create value.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, good luck to them. Good luck to them. Anyways, so this time is it different? Let's see here. Short-term hodlers underwater. 2020 COVID crash, 92% in a loss at 38.50. Okay, fine. 2022 FTX collapse, 94% in a loss at 16,000. Yeah, okay, that's debatable. Today, 99% in a loss at 89K. What? This is what happens with .eth links. This is what happens. What are we talking about? The highest short-term hodler capitulation ever recorded. I don't know if I buy that. He's got a chart. Always a chart. Short-term supply. Okay, but that's just who's in profit, who's in loss. It's not capitulation. It's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah, and remember, you have to think about who are the short-term hodlers as well. What does that entail? We talked about this 2 weeks ago when Adam Beck challenged someone's charts for long-term hodlers. And long-term hodlers, remember, I think it was like 408,000 Bitcoin were sold by long-term hodlers. It's over. It's not funny. In less than a month, we get charts about long-term hodlers are selling, short-term hodlers are losing. It's all sensationalism. Bitcoin has just blown up 10% in 3 days. Like, that's great, especially in a bear market, allegedly. The short-term hodler is someone who's held for 3 months, maybe. It's like guess what? They bought high. They got freaked out. They left. Oh well, paper. That's another chart. That's another word for paper hands. We've been dealing with them for years.
So just for perspective, in 2017, 2018, the OGs were exiting as well. Right. Those are like, it's like the first time, not the first time the Bitcoin broke $1,000, but like the first time it broke like $5,000. And then when we got to $10,000, it was the same FUD. Okay. At $10,000, all these OGs, that's it. You know, like, and you'd heard the same thing. You know, most of these guys got Bitcoin for $100. Some of them got it for 30 cents. Some of them got it for $30, you know, so they're all exiting. Yeah, that's right. This is, I know it sounds crazy, but this is a market. There's going to be people who are going to buy Bitcoin. And in order, again, this sounds nuts. In order for people to buy Bitcoin, get ready. Someone has to sell it to them. I know these are wild times. Yeah, these are wild times. Wild times. Buyers and sellers, the market. I know. We're all scared of them. But look, it's happening and we just got to accept it. Okay. We just got to accept it. Guess what? The value that Bitcoin is able to essentially help us carry across time, that's going to continue to increase as well. Right? So we're good with that. I'm okay with these things. Doesn't bother me. I'm okay with the market. I'm okay with degens betting on Bitcoin's future, right? Whether it's up or down. I'm totally okay with them doing all of these shenanigans. Go ahead. Have fun. I just get to watch the show. You get to watch the show.
That's right.
All right. You know who else gets to watch the show? The people best positioned to make the most insane amounts of money, and like they're just quickly becoming untouchable. Not a fan. I'm not a fan. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a fanboy here of Tether, but anyways, Tether just bought the dip with $1 billion for the first time ever. Used $1 billion USDT from their own treasury. You know the interesting thing about these businesses? You know what they all have to own, right? I'm going to talk about this tomorrow on the daily episode, so it doesn't matter. But
dollars.
It's important. Yeah, damn right. More importantly, they got to buy treasuries. Bills. Yeah, they got to buy treasuries, man.
Yeah, they're definitely a part of the fiat structure. They are propping up the dollar, if you will.
All the shitcoiners got Tether wrong. All these Tether truthers that were like, it's propping Bitcoin up. Without Tether, Bitcoin would collapse. Morons. Bitcoin had price points before Tether existed.
That's right.
Okay? It's not propping it up. But now the picture emerges. And you know who did get it right, and who doesn't get enough credit for it, is Mark Goodwin, right? Tether is a total tool. It is the biggest tool of the US dollar. And all of that stable coin nonsense, all of it is to prop up the US dollar. Like we are at that stage in the empire. Okay. Like in the whole empire clock game, this is the stage we are at. We're running on fumes. We've got our reputation that precedes us, and we are going to create those dollars come hell or high water. And this is something I'm not the only one who has said this for years, but you got to understand that, the printing was there it is baked in by default, right? From the second that the country started to issue a currency, it immediately accrued more debt than it issued, and on and on and on and on it goes. It was never meant to end. It's never meant to end. So it's not a question of, oh, this crisis is making us print more money. Oh, we have to print more money because of this crisis. No, we had to print that money anyways.
Right.
We had no choice but to print those dollars. No
and maybe
choice.
The crises were fabricated to cover up what the real reason is.
Or just also, I shouldn't say or, I should say as well, used as good opportunities, right? Never let an opportunity go unused.
Winston
so why not?
Churchill.
Right? Hey, we get to print more dollars. All right, something bad happened. We know how to fix this. Print more dollars. Because they have to do it anyways. And they can't do it all in one shot, right? Yeah. So what do you do? What do? You use the events that are already happening. Yeah, it's anyways.
And here's something that Saylor did used to say, or I'm pretty sure he still believes it, is that he does believe that the dollar will expand across the globe, not just from not the petrodollar or the euro dollars, but like people actually using the green bills that we use, and maybe in an electronic form, maybe in a paper form, but there will be 5 major currencies. Maybe the euro, the dollar, the yen, the won, something else, the ruble. But at the end of the day, here's the cold part. It's like, and how does that manifest? CBDCs or stable coins. So those that electronic, what do you call it? Settlement can happen across boundaries and time and quicker, right? The problem is that even if the dollar becomes truly global from a retail standpoint, at some point it will reach its boundary. At some point, the yen will say, "You can't come in our backyard. Like, we're not the Zimbabwe dollar, bro. Like, we're our own domain. Like, get lost." The euro will say the same thing. Like, the euro will give up as much as they can, because that's what they've done to the United States for the United States for decades. But at some point, this will end, and it's going to end quickly, because those tiny little currencies that the dollar will displace, those will go so fast. The dollar needs somewhere else to expand. That's Keynesianism. You expand forever. They're finding places to expand, but once it's done expanding, the collapse comes, and then you would hope hyper Bitcoinization.
They're hiding it in stable coins. There's going to be such insane contagion. Anyways, I don't know who they're going to blame. So look, tinfoil hat, they're going to blame Bitcoin, right? Automatically, they're going to blame Bitcoin, of course, right? But it's truly going to be a stablecoin.
You gave people an exit.
Yeah. Look what you did. But you see, it's funny, right? Because by virtue of Bitcoin, can they create these stable coins? Because, of course, as we know, the trust is eroding, right? It's eroding in the government and, their ability to policy. So, hey, we get to point to Bitcoin. Look, you don't have to trust us. This thing exists without us. We can't even touch it. We can't even mess with it. So we're going to make, right? Like, it's obvious. Then you go and you make a currency. They're just borrowing credit from the Bank of Bitcoin, right? They just go there, they borrow it. No CEO.
Pristine capital. We've heard that one too.
Right? Oh yeah, yeah. I called it. I ended up calling it a pristine debt anchor. That is my
Bitcoin.
That's what Bitcoin is. It is the most pristine debt anchor that humanity has ever had. And it's exactly because of this. It's because of those qualities that now, right, like that governments, right, you can just sit there and simply point to, look, we've accumulated all of this Bitcoin and we're going to issue this currency and you can trust us because Bitcoin, right? And it's logic. But you see, by that same, all that is, right, is just can kicking, right? And we're experiencing the can kicking, like the empire clock doesn't stop ticking, right? Like, right now, we're in the U.S. empire, and that clock is still ticking. China is, doing what they're doing to move the clock in their direction.
Right.
Who knows, right?
Who knows? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. When I see these countries and they say, "Oh yeah, I can print money because of the trust that I've developed, and I've developed trust because of." Let's just say the gold, right? You have this gold in the back, which, the United States has a bunch, I'm sure Europe has some, but it's like, it's not one-to-one, and people, and the problem is that as people have fallen for this stupid narrative that even RFK has said it before, like, the dollar is going to be backed by Bitcoin, or the idea that the country is going to own Bitcoin so you can trust it. But it's like, doesn't matter if they own 1 Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin. They're going to create exponentially more dollars or fiat units than they have of the hard unit. But we are so comforted by them just saying that we will back the fiat. Catches, you don't need to back anything with anything. Bitcoin is money intrinsically, and you can use it without the idea of some sort of backing. Like, that's the big joke that people our age, people younger than us, people older than us are falling for. Like, the idea that backing is somehow makes it credible. It
doesn't mean anything. It's funny.
We want the base layer, man. I mean, smart people do.
People just don't understand that that Bitcoin is the bearer asset. People just don't like it's like and again, it's thanks to all of this fiat, right? This fiat education and this whole entire brainwashing scheme that we've all been through, where we don't even question these things. We don't even understand what that truly means.
Right.
That like Bitcoin is the asset itself. It is truly the only asset that you can fully own. It's anyways. Yeah, it took me a while to get that Bitcoin is the bearer asset. You know, like it's
And for that reason, like all the people who've been in Bitcoin forever, like if they're using the terminology pristine capital, like they're in my eyes, and I know I'm the hard ass, but they're the bad actors. They're leading you back to a fiat prison by using that terminology. Like if you're not calling it a bearer asset, if you're not calling it hard money, if you're not calling it if you're not saying this is all you need, you're the bad guy from my perspective. I know no one's like bad, blah blah blah. We all have our incentives, but if you're pushing Keynesianism, you're working against me, and you're not net positive. You're actually net negative. So who's using the terms pristine capital? I know we've mentioned a few of those people on this show multiple times.
Guys with suits.
Say what?
Yeah, guys with suits.
That's right.
The dudes with suits. Speaking of which, dudes with suits. All right, institutional share of ETF holdings has increased to 40% Bitcoin. Yay! I mean, look, the ETFs. You know what? I'm not giving them a pass per se, right? Because it is still the kind of okay. How about this, right? It's still a vehicle for paper Bitcoin. However, right, I have to applaud the in-kind redemptions for the approved participants, right? I can't say that is not a good thing. I do think that is, because that requires the physical delivery of Bitcoin. And in all fairness, the ETFs, I gotta tell you, they've managed to hold their value. The Bitcoin ones, anyways, have managed to hold their value a whole lot more than the companies specifically designed to hold Bitcoin.
They're 0.9975 to 1. Like that, their annual fee. The next year it'll be 0.99. You know, you keep on multiplying 0.25 and taking that difference. That's the the service fee.
That's right.
Other than that, it's 1-to-1. Now you don't get all the the properties that truly give it value, but it's reflective of that as perfectly as it possibly can. You're paying the 0.25 or 0.5% penalty for them doing that. And of course, guess what? In the dystopian world, in the dystopian, parallel universe that BlackRock says, no, all your Bitcoin belongs to me, which I don't think is happening anytime soon. Let's just say you don't want to, if you have all your eggs in one basket, from that perspective, you have all your Bitcoin in custodial services, you get what's coming to you. But everyone has a layered money of more liquid assets than other. And the ETF has done its job. But in my opinion, and we'll talk about this later, I think it has destroyed the cycle theory.
Interesting. So you think the cycle theory is done? I'm still on the fence, because
as of like 2 months or the last month and a half,
I don't know. I'm still on the fence. This is my problem. My problem with it is, well, you know what? It's good because we're talking about COPIUM stuff, anyways. But like, so really, what it is that it has to do with high time preference desires, and like just also trying to remain grounded, meaning that if right, this 4-year cycle theory is dead, then therefore that means we don't get to have the high time preference blow off top, which I so desperately want to experience again.
That's right.
And just go through that whole thing of seeing that happen and seeing some terrible wannabe Bitcoin institution fall apart. That is a huge mug, dude. I mean, like, that's really like that. That's like a Bavarian.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's for, but it's actually water. It's only like like biomass. It's not a beer. This is all water and electrolytes. So yeah.
So
I'm famous for like drinking out of jugs.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I didn't know that until we did TabConf together. But yes, he is a jug drinker.
Yeah,
But
it's not whiskey, Torb. I would be
no,
dead.
it's not whiskey. It's all water. It's all water. It's okay. We're both geeks. We just sat there with water, a whole lot of water. But yeah, so the whole 4-year cycle thing, right? So yeah. But you see, like, that's the thing, right? The high time preference part of me wants to see that happen, right? But the reality is that the maturing of Bitcoin as an asset, right, is inevitable, and therefore there's nothing inherently wrong with the way that the 4-year cycle was framed, right? Like, it was misunderstood, and or the fact that Bitcoin is maturing wasn't accounted for in some cases. That's okay, you know, like, and to that point, like, okay, so now it's going to change, and now, but the thing is, I think it scares a lot of people because some people get comfortable, right? They get comfortable, and and I mean, look, we're all humans, right? We appreciate predictability, right? This is, you know, like, we're not all nomads, so, you know, it's nice to frickin', you know, be able to sit there and say, every 4 years I can expect this top, and, you know, this and that. Like, nope, this thing is maybe changing. But anyways, I'm still totally on the fence because of my HOPIUM and because of my high time preference desires. So as long as I know that it's not right, it's like not something I actually believe because of any credible information, I'm okay with that. But I do still want to blow off top. I want shit company to blow up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I mean, just to follow up, I just think that the ETFs, we were talking about the ETFs right there. Let's pull up that chart one more time if you still have it, or did you toss it? If you toss it, you toss it.
I can get it back.
Yeah, but like, I guess what I'm saying is, for all those people who are out there thinking about what Ulric said, like, oh, the cycle's dead and ETFs. I guess what I'm saying is, when you think about all, and we just showed a chart with the short-term holders and how, again, that's way before, that's only 3-month holders. But you think about the people who are watching this show are likely long-term holders of whatever Bitcoin they have sold or moved. It's a small fraction. We're still in it for the long run. But the ETFs, the demographic of the ETFs, people who've generally bought in since 24, the beginning of 24. Now, what I see especially over the last 8 months, you know, maybe around tariff time, is that anytime the ETF buying is up, Bitcoin is up. Anytime the ETF buying is down, Bitcoin is down. Also, anytime Bitcoin is up, there's good economic news. Anytime Bitcoin is down, there's bad economic news. And so what Bitcoin has turned into, and I've been saying this for a while, but still thought the cycle was intact, is that Bitcoin is a barometer for you know, United States economic activity, or even international economic activity. So people who are selling, who are treating Bitcoin as the most liquid thing, rather than us Bitcoiners who are treating it as the least liquid, generally speaking, least liquid, they are quick to dump Bitcoin at the moment's notice of a bad job report. Bitcoin and jobs aren't
not even related.
They're not correlated. But guess what? We're hoping that job, we're hoping people got laid off so Jerome Powell can be pressured by the other governors to drop the rate so that Bitcoin can pump up. Those types of things are not related, but to the new demographic of people that are invested in Bitcoin now, it is. And so therefore, when you think about the halving and the 500 days after this halving, which is about right now, guess what happens if all of a sudden, hey, you know, we're going to drop the rates in May of 26? Okay, Bitcoin ETF buyers are going to go crazy. And guess what? We're going to get a new federal chair. Jerome Powell's out, and this guy that Trump likes is in. Bitcoin's going to go crazy. So Bitcoin shouldn't be going crazy in 26. If it is, it's on a different, it's beating to a different drum than we're used to pre-ETF. I'll make a video about it, but it's worth considering, everyone.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. And just to answer Torup's question, Yellow is not singing every day. He does it once a week, every Friday. He's not singing, but he's playing. Don't Stop Believing. That's right. He's playing Don't Stop Believing. Sometimes he kind of sings, but yeah, man, every Friday. And I think it's at like 4 o'clock Eastern time or 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Anyways, between 3 and 5. But yeah.
Have we ever thought of changing the Journey song that he plays? You know, Journey has a lot of great songs. I mean,
yeah, no, they do, but it's that one's like very specific, right? Like
Only
that one's
the
like
Young Can Save.
Yeah, I mean, like it's right. It's Don't Stop Believing. It's what it was the anthem that brought us to 100K. And I just want to point out that I don't know if I said this last time, or maybe I said this on a different, like on one of my live episodes, but I'm pretty sure that stupid Creed song is what muted our bull run so far. That terrible Creed song. I don't remember even like what it's called, but I just Higher or something like that.
Higher?
And you take me higher.
And you take me
something
higher.
like that. Anyways, I don't know. It's just terrible. And
Journey
I
is
apologize
great.
to all of you. There's a reason I don't sing for a living, right? You just experienced it. So look, that song was terrible, and it just I think it totally muted our bull run, man. It ruined it for everybody. Like it was, those guys suck.
They probably bought the ETF.
Yeah, they probably did buy the ETF. He seems like a shitcoiner. Anyways, not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, like to each their own. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know the Creed song. I didn't listen to this shit. I didn't like Creed even when people were like thinking that they were cool. And I know it's like no one ever thought they were cool. Yeah, I knew people that thought Creed was cool. Okay, and I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
That's outside my demographics.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, dude, you know, I'm like 10 years older than you or whatever. So
I'm just saying, I'm black.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Although I love Journey.
Yeah, I like Journey.
I'm a Journey guy.
Why not?
Guns N' Roses too.
Why not? Some Guns N' Roses. At the very least, the song Civil War. Civil War is fantastic.
I don't want your Civil War.
Right? That is a great song, you know?
I got goosebumps just now.
Yeah, it's a good one. I know, me too. That's a real song. Guns N' Roses, huh? You know what's funny? Back in the 80s when Guns N' Roses, like when they came out, like I remember being a kid and being exposed to that music, and like your parents were like, shouldn't be listening to that. You know, those guys. Those guys are Satan worshipers.
Especially the bass player, right?
And do you remember the cover? Do you remember the cover of that album with the cross and all of their faces as skulls, right? Like stuff like that. It's like, man, you know, you don't want to show that stuff to your parents. You know, it's yeah, Pink Floyd. Big Pink Floyd fan. Yeah, Money's a good song, although I'm more of a fan of Time. Time is a really interesting song.
I feel like I've heard you mention that.
Yeah. Time is. I mean, that whole album can be listened to from beginning to end, and it will just totally blow your mind. It is such incredible storytelling. It actually kind of reminds me. And it's totally not the same type of music. And I'm sorry that we're derailing, guys, but too bad for you. But it makes me think of Jim Morrison's An American Prayer. That album, if you've ever listened to that, that can be listened to from beginning to end. And again, it is just so freaking out there. You listen to these people, and in all fairness, if they came out with this music today, nobody would give a shit. Like for real. If any of this stuff came out today, everyone would be like, who are these losers? This music sucks. However, if that music didn't exist when it did, we wouldn't be where we are today. So it's like, you know, it's like that
like
stuff.
6'7", man.
23, you know. Anyway.
Hey, all you guys who are watching on Twitter, you guys want to do me a favor? Come join us on YouTube. I want to just run a test. I want you guys to join us on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitter, go down, click that link, watch us live on YouTube. Just do Sir Ulric a favor, you know, Christmas present, if you will. Thanksgiving present. I appreciate it. That's it. New anthem for this cycle. Yeah, I agree with Torup. I've been saying this for a really long time as well. From the moment that Yellow tried to push that Creed shit, I was like, dude, we need something else. And in all fairness, I don't actually have a good suggestion, but I just know that song isn't it. And it wasn't. And look at what we have. Look at what we have, guys. Look what we have. We're sitting at 88K. Okay, this is the song.
You think it's not the song, then you don't know what just happened.
You asked for a new anthem. You're going to get some suit coiners and some ETF holders bringing the music, and likely it will be some very, very cheap EDM.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad that real music doesn't really exist anymore. I know it'll come back somewhere. What you have to imagine is this, right? The next great band, they're just being born. They don't even know that they're the next great band. They're still in the becoming. Anyways.
Yeah, because there ain't no rock music anymore for like 30 years.
Yeah, no, that's in all fairness, I'm trying to think back to it. I don't think I have anything older than like 2000, maybe 2005, something like that.
That's probably, it's pretty much the end of rock music.
Yeah, it is. All right. Yeah, we're going to talk more about Bitcoin. I know we're here to talk about Bitcoin. Let's do that. The music stuff is so fun, right? So here we go. This is where we're going to get into some cope. So the rumor, we love the rumors, guys. What's the rumor? The rumor is I need to have my eyesight checked. That's oh, sorry.
What did you do?
What did I do? Oh man, hold on a second.
What are you doing?
I know. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm just trying to get it back to the way.
You want to make it bigger?
Give me a second.
Now you're gone. It's like that.
I know.
Where are you? Don't you want it like that?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get it to upper solo presenter. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to remove it. All right. There we go. We're doing it live. Yeah, no, Narwhal, we're talking about Bitcoin. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're talking about Bitcoin, but we got sidetracked because I'm an old person. So, few major crypto funds blew up during the October 10th flash crash that wiped out $19 billion. They're now being forced to sell Bitcoin and ETH to cover losses, which explains the relentless dumping. This also fits why alt BTC pairs are holding up well. I got to tell you, the delusion is strong. I don't think any of that was real.
What's the reason for the flash crash?
Yeah, what is the reason for the flash crash?
Don't you remember that was the demon candle we got?
Yeah,
10% in a day.
Yeah. So what was it?
You told me.
I mean, some people said it was like a massive loss of confidence. So some people said like the trade was up. Like it's. I mean, what is the real reason, right? I can only assume that there was a massive seller. What do you think?
I mean, it did have a little triple top, it was like 122, 125, 126.
Yeah.
And so if maybe it was just, maybe all the traders just, I ran into a guy at the theater that I haven't seen in 15 years. I used to play basketball with him and he recognized me. And I don't know how, like I just started talking about Bitcoin to him and it's like, oh yeah, I trade. I'm like, oh, well, what do you think of, the downturn? And it's like, oh yeah, it's like he said we, so he shares information with like a trader group. And he's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin, hit 120 something, 3 times. And at that point we were like, oh, that's it. Like it's not going anywhere. It's done here for now. And he said like, there's still room for it to come back up. And this was Saturday. This was after it started recovering. So I don't know, like, I'd like to think that, we a lot of the stuff that we found out about past bear markets, the indicator or the reason for it, we end up getting reports about institutions and companies like going belly up like 2 months later. And so sometimes I just feel like there could be something that happened and someone was forced to sell and we just won't know about it until January or February.
Yeah, Narwhal is saying the flash crash was in time with Trump's tariff announcement. Yep, that's true. So I don't personally look for. By the way, I don't disagree.
Like,
exactly.
We're going to do 100,000, but it's like, guess what ends up happening? And I think we talked about that, Phil. I'm sorry to interrupt, but he threatened it for November 1st, and if November 1st didn't come, if it's like right there, if he's not talking about it again, it shows that Trump is doing his. Not all the time, sometimes he's a guy of word, but he's doing his political that was saber rattling, and it ended up being a nothing burger. So why didn't it go right back up afterwards? I just think there's something that was. I think that there was some big group that got margin called or something. They messed up.
Yeah.
They had to sell. Other people watched the sell and said, we might as well pile onto this. And someone picked up some very cheap Bitcoin at $80,000 because we didn't look back once it hit that.
And to Rourke's point here, Binance stablecoin blew up. Yeah, this is also what I read as well. And it's kind of interesting because Binance is often, it's interesting that Binance is often the source of the Bitcoin crashes. So kind of weird.
Definitely not good actors at all. You know, they don't care. You know, the more trading they get, the more fiat units they get, and that's all that matters is velocity.
That's right. Speaking of velocity, bull market corrections take either 3 weeks or 3 to 4 months to recover entirely. Unclear which bucket we are in. All right, and this is from the Nightmare Man himself.
Very well done. It's funny because
he April 2025, 14 days. All right, so
he must start counting at the trough, at the bottom.
Yeah.
What is it going back up to? Like,
yeah, exactly. And like, I guess what's the cutoff, right? Is the cutoff to go back to I guess yeah, exactly. Is it like back up to 126? We're not sure. Hey,
yeah, you know, he's just throwing stuff out there.
Humble.
Hello.
We
Humble.
are.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Mike, let's hear your voice now. Let's hear your lovely voice.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay? I have to
Yes.
Turn that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could turn it up a little bit more.
Okay. I don't know.
Sweet. I like the beanie. Very nice.
For sure.
Sweet. Yeah, so we were just actually we're still just coping here, and we're looking at this post here from Fred Krueger that the bull market corrections take either 3 weeks or 3 to 4 months to recover entirely, and he's unclear which bucket we are in. And we were just discussing it, you know, where does this, I guess, where does it end, right? Like we figured out, okay, so it must start at the bottom, right? Which was in this particular case like 79K or something. And like, what is he doing? Like, which level is he going back to? So that's really where we were in the conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's right. Now we're in a triangle table.
Yes, I have a little
We
bit
tried
of
to be
feedback
around
on my end. You guys getting feedback on your end or no? Is it just me?
No feedback.
Why is it that you can hear Humble so well and I can't hear her at all?
Yeah,
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, that's strange.
But I have you guys, in terms of like the volume coming into the mixer, you're both the same volume,
Okay.
I guess.
And let's keep going. I'll listen close.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll try to talk louder.
she's
Does
a
it make a
little bit
difference
lower.
if I do this? Like, you know,
I can
those
hear you. I can hear you
TikTokers,
better
if I
like
do
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely hear you
I can
better.
do
Like
some ASMR.
ASMR.
Too, yeah.
Guys, you're in for a treat. Let's freaking go.
Yay.
Hello.
That's right. See, you know what? We should have had supers turned on and all that stuff, right? People start donating.
As soon as Humble joined, our numbers went up as well. I wonder why.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
no
funny.
coincidence. That's no coincidence. You
It's
see,
the hat.
Humble?
I'm
It's
bringing
the hat.
people- I'm
It is the
bringing
hat.
people to the yard with that.
That's
with that
right.
hat, for
Right.
sure.
Milkshake brings all the voice.
For sure.
Come on,
Yeah. Have fun.
Not
seeing
that
it.
old.
I can't wear it in public, so I've got to wear it here. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wear anything that looks too Bitcoiny out there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Like, what does that mean? Oh,
So I should
have-
retire my gold chain. I retired it because I'm embarrassed. I'm
What?
different. If I see Bitcoin at 130, best believe I'm wearing that chain at least to work. I don't know about downtown LA.
Yeah, everyone just sees you now and they're like, he's a bag holder. He's flexing that chain. He's just coping that chain.
So
Oh,
bad.
Lord, have mercy.
All right.
So COPIUM, I mean, so we're talking about these different price targets. So have we talked about the doom and gloom lowest price target yet? Have we mentioned?
Are we gonna
No?
go there? Are we
Are
gonna go there? Well, we were. I mean, in all fairness, we were just wrapping up that Fred Krueger post. But if you want to go into where we think the bottom's going to be, so you think we're going lower still?
Oh my gosh.
Is that what you're saying?
Go so low. I do. I really do. And that's just based on you know,
Hater.
vibes. It's like, you know, there are vibe coders. I'm like a vibe. This is what's going on. Just the state of things. I feel like
All
we're
right, Humble.
really okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Oh,
I want to know what your prediction is.
no, I don't know. Like, I think the 58K gang. I think that, you know, we're going lower than that. I don't think going, I don't know, like 20s, 30s. It's possible. I think that there's going to be a very huge, we're seeing it already. We're seeing everything kind of play out. We're majorly under attack. We are majorly under attack. And I think this started with the whole core discussions, and, you know, it's very interesting to me.
Sorry, I'm about to pull up the.
Yeah, I mean, if
Like,
we're
are we
gonna pull
crashing
up
right now?
charts,
Yeah,
you're
I just
pulling
look
up
at
the
the
charts.
chart.
I
Oh,
have not looked at the charts. I
God.
have not. I'm going off. Like I said, it's a vibe. I feel like
We're still intact. We're still
I
intact.
feel like I'm just like connecting all of these dots. And now that these things are happening, I'm like, oh, well, that's why they started saying this. And that's why they're doing that. And that's why this is unfolding. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm trying to like pull this together. And what's interesting to me is it's not just my vibe. I've heard other people that are feeling this as well. You know, it's just like, okay, guys, like, this is happening. You know, they're not necessarily putting all the pieces together, but they really do feel that we're under attack, and I see it. So
When you say we're under attack, you're talking about Bitcoin?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a serious coordinated FUD campaign.
Yes.
Which in all fairness, I know that it seems like it's pulling us down, right? Like it's like a magnet pulling us down. But what if this is a coil that's being wound
Yes.
to push us higher? So
Yes.
yeah, you know, like I don't know, but to your point, it is pretty insane and seemingly coordinated, right? That all of these things started to happen, right? Like we got the core versus knots, which we're about to start talking about. Then boom, you've got the Epstein stuff. Boom, the quantum FUD. Bang, Zek. All of a sudden, right? All of these institutions are shilling Zek. You know, an OG Bitcoiner spoke to me about Bitcoin security. Really?
Yeah.
He's literally the fucking Steve Buscemi meme, you know, like, how's it going, fellow kids? Like, please, dude. Nobody spoke to you about Bitcoin security.
No. I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, okay, Zcash comes out of nowhere from everybody. You know, you've got the Winklevi, you've got like everybody coming out talking about it, like, oh, well, privacy security, and you haven't, you know, pump my bags. It's just like, what the heck is going on here? Like, you guys could have chosen like anything. But the fact that everybody's choosing the exact same thing at the exact same time, you know, and then Epstein comes out, it's like, okay, for real, like, we've known this, like, this whole Epstein connection, we've known this, the whole Brock Pierce, Epstein, like, we've known this. It's not new information. Like, come on. But it's new to some people. So it's shock and awe. It's like, do you really want to be associated with it? Oh, well, how interesting that we're also pushing this whole, well, I mean, maybe you want to go over to knots because, you know, CP, you don't want to be doing anything with that. Oh, but let's bring in Epstein. Like, okay, seriously. This could not be more coordinated in my mind.
Yeah. I definitely I'm right there with you about the coordination. It's just too.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like it's just insane the amount of accounts that are pushing this stuff out. This is absolutely wild. But I do want to say one thing about the whole Epstein connection, which I didn't know about before, but I ended up learning from reading Lola's article about it. So the specific piece, right, is that the Bitcoin Foundation had supposedly gone bankrupt, right? So it was like a connection of a connection, right, that essentially knew Epstein and was like, hey, you know, you might want to fund this project, right? So it's one of those types of scenarios. So it's not the same type of thing as like this person was looking to fund this specific technology in order to push something for, you know, like essentially the way that it's being framed. So, but again, nobody cares about that, right? Like it's just, you put the names, you draw the lines, and you know, and the rest is just magic, right? The rest is just total FUD. Actually, you know what?
That also fits with the people that the people that are, a lot of the people that are chasing the the Epstein files now. Gosh, I mean, the more we mention this, I just feel like the more our views are going to get throttled afterwards. But it's like, I just feel like, there are some people that don't really care about the fact that there are liars on both sides. They don't seem to care also either about the fact that there are liars in the mid, like in terms of financial liars, like right in the middle of your everyday, operations. When they think about, there are people that are caring about like this bad guy that did these bad things in the past, but somehow the central bankers that are stealing from people on a regular basis is not something worth fixing. And so they say, because this guy used Bitcoin or had a third degree relationship to Bitcoin, all of a sudden that makes Bitcoin bad. And you should just continue to utilize the dollar, which has caused wars and bloodshed and all types of evils for such a long time. And likely Epstein was more involved with the dollar than he could have ever been involved with Bitcoin. But for some reason, they don't want to hear that. I mean, they're no better than Elizabeth Warren that's saying you should cancel crypto because of money laundering.
Yeah. The Candace Owens things in the attempt on her life. Is it a real attempt, or is it just that she claims that information? Right? I don't know. Anyways, all of this stuff is weird. All of this stuff is just nuts.
PsyOps are going crazy right now.
Yeah, it is like full overload of the stuff that's happening. But yeah. I'm sorry. I thought that we were going to start really digging into the whole core versus not stuff, but we still had some funny stuff to go over in terms of COPIUM if we wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got some, right? There was this one from Kramer, right? It almost feels like a cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90K, right? I like Bitcoin, but I don't like any of the derivatives created to play it or game it or mine it.
Well, I don't even know how you inverse that. Like, what is he saying? my logic indicators my logic sensors are off, because it's like, if a cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above, is he saying that he thinks that it's going to be if that's the case, then Bitcoin is going to go down, because he thinks Bitcoin is going to go up. So this is bad. I don't know why Pierre Rochard is saying, thank you for speaking out on this, Jim. We need to hear your voice.
Yeah, because he's giving it attention. No, it's because he's giving it attention, right? Like Pierre is just looking at this like from a strategic point of view, right? It's giving
an inverse Kramer.
Yeah,
Kramer is real.
But I like Dick's response personally. Almost feels like a cabal is trying to keep it below 100K.
Yeah, say that. Say that,
funny,
Jim.
right? Like, it's
say
kind
that
of
and we'll be okay.
Isn't that the irony though? So he doesn't like it that somebody's trying to keep the price up, but it's okay that there's a whole bunch of mechanisms to keep the price down.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah. That's some stupid shit. Okay.
I mean, it's just, like, if they want to buy in, they're not going to buy in at the prices that we've been at. And if they want to get a lot of it, or if they don't have what they say they have, right? I mean, that's the other thing. Like, they want our Bitcoin. That's what this all boils down to. They want it, and they want to shake out the weak hands, and they want people to be scared. And I think they want them to be that way for a long time. And I mean, for me, of course, this is like, I mean, I've seen these narratives, but I haven't been through multiple cycles. So I guess Phil and Ulric, like, does this kind of mirror what you guys have seen in times past? Or is this, because obviously it is different. You have ETFs now, you have these institutions, like, what moves are they going to make? We've talked about this, right?
Well, in terms of the FUD, this cycle is totally rhyming.
Yeah.
This is like, I mean, I even put out a post today about how this is so eerily like 2017, 2018. It's crazy. I mean, I remember being drawn in to these like Facebook crypto groups where people were sharing these memes that were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle meme, right? With Splinter in the middle, right? So you have a bunch of shit coins, right? That are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Bitcoin is old Splinter in the middle, right? He's old and tired, and now the shit coins are going to carry on the tradition for him. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, yeah, Bitcoin was the first. It is old. There's all this new tech. I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then, right? And I was one of those people who thought that if you had better tech, you'd make a better Bitcoin. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But that's the point. You've got a whole bunch of people this cycle that are falling for all of the same old crap. The difference is that now we've got the institutions that are pumping their bags. So it's completely different. Right now, you've got this TradFi guy that's worth billions, You know, you've got these TradFi people that are worth significant amounts of money, and they're shilling this garbage. So they must know something I don't, right? The sad thing is that a lot of people, like if you're wealthy, people will listen to you even if you're full of shit.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. It's plain and simple, like full stop. If you're wealthy, you can pretty much say almost anything. And if you're dealing with a person who has less than you and looks up to that, then they'll just buy whatever the hell you're selling.
Yeah. And what's interesting to me is we're hearing a lot about this quantum computing, right? We're hearing a lot of that. And that's something that it's like, I feel like in the past year, we've heard a little bit about it and then it just kind of went away. And we heard a little bit more and then it just kind of went away. It's almost like they were like testing us to see how we would react and how the market's going to react and what's going to happen. And now it's like that seems to just be a consistent thing they're putting out there. Like, oh, quantum computing. And like, how far away are we even from that? But no, they've got to talk about it and say, oh my gosh, it's going to be this horrible, terrible thing. And then, you know, this isn't something that we included in the format for today's show, but Klaus Schwab, did you see that?
I saw that video. Oh my gosh, what the hell is that?
Comes out of nowhere. The Schwab Academy, like legit, you can like go to the Klaus Schwab, I'm going to learn. I can't do his freaking accent, but whatever. Like, and he's talking about like, oh, I want to prepare you for the future, and you know, it's going to be. I can't do the accent, but I really want to. That's what I'm struggling with right now. It's just going to be Indian, Russian, and that's pretty. But like he wants to prepare people for the future and quantum computing and how. So it's like, oh, really? Now you're coming into the picture, but Bitcoin is you know terrible because of quantum computing, and now here you are preparing people for the future. And like whatever. It's like seriously, like all puzzle pieces. Do you guys see that? Are you like, oh,
absolutely?
It's like enter Klaus Schwab, and
isn't that insane though? Isn't that insane that he's like that he's doing this? I can't wait to see the indoctrination, because we all know what's gonna. So it's like we weren't aware of the type of stuff that we were gonna see from his first round, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, like we only found out after the fact that you know, premiers like Justin Trudeau were part of this like, you know, youth brigade that he had that was like completely brainwashed, you know, and essentially set onto the world during COVID. So it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, what comes of this weirdo academy that he's making.
Yeah, I almost want to like, what do you have to do to like actually do it? Like, like I want to know.
You want us to sign up? We'll sign up all together and we'll go.
Exactly.
We'll expose the Klaus Schwab.
I know, seriously. Oh, man.
All I ever remember though, anytime I picture him though, I just picture him in that weird emperor's gown that he had on, which was so like, how is this not a super villain? Like, are you serious? Really? Right. Well, I remember like when that whole thing happened and it's the World Economic Forum and he's talking about how like, you know, you're going to eat the bugs and, you know, everybody's going to have nothing and be I'm like, are we really doing this? Yeah. People are buying this? Like, you haven't seen enough sci-fi movies to know how this ends? Really?
I know.
Anyway,
he did look straight out of like something from a Never-Ending Story or something. I'll say, I mean, everyone, really? All these people, all these elites are wearing these like weird outfits. I mean, Hillary Clinton had her, you know, suit dresses, or not suit dresses, but it's like those one-piece suits. That was like, it made her look like a cartoon character, right? And it's like she's a caricature of a politician. So I just feel like at some point these people just get so beside themselves with their ego, and they feel like they have to come out looking like Charlie Brown, wearing the same thing over and over. It's their branding.
Like a Bitcoin necklace.
Sorry?
A Bitcoin necklace, like that, like a little, like Ulric, your necklace, your Bitcoin necklace.
Yeah, but I right before you came here, I was right before you joined, I was like, yeah, I can't really wear it when it's below 100,000 now. No. Otherwise, I can't rock it. I got to make people jealous. I look at when I'm wearing it, I'm looking at people like just out of the corner of my eye, just say, wonder if they're noticing how much they missed it. But it's like right now, they're probably feeling pretty good. Oh, he's definitely struggling. So no, I haven't worn it in like 3-4 weeks.
So is this real? Is there such thing as Zelensky University?
I'm not sure.
Real? I don't know. I can't always trust.
We can't be talking about the Ukraine.
No, we're not going to talk about that. But
we're going to get throttled.
we're definitely going to get
YouTubers,
that.
sorry. We've
Okay.
talked about Schwab, Hillary Clinton, Zelensky.
Yeah.
There's only so many more.
It's okay. Throttleville is a beautiful place. Everything moves kind of slow, and nobody knows you're there.
Oh, man.
All right, let's just dive into it. Obviously, like, we're not going to go over it's just drama, right? We're just talking about the drama. So this is a post from Jonas Schnelly, who was, I believe, a core contributor at one point. Anyways, Deja Vu, Mike Hearn, a former Bitcoin developer, rage quit in January 2016. I remember this, and sold all his Bitcoin at $430. And obviously, what you see highlighted here is the network is on the brink of technical collapse, and that is a retweet of Mechanic, right? Who is Ocean's marketing director, saying, for what it's worth, I have a similar sentiment, and I haven't made a purchase all year. This year is the first year I've ever put extra cash elsewhere and begun rotating out of Bitcoin. And again, to Humble's point earlier about this coordinated attack, this is something else that we've seen as well, right? A few accounts that have started to allude. They're not talking about buying shit coins. They're just talking about no longer purchasing Bitcoin, right? And in all fairness, I personally, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this so many times already, right? People sitting there thinking that they're taking a stand by, like, I'm not going to purchase Bitcoin. That's totally fine. It doesn't really matter. Like, who cares, right? Like, Bitcoin is the money of enemies. So,
Was this the?
Thank you for hosting, Humble. By the
Oh
way.
yeah, no problem. Absolutely. Oh yeah, there you go. Hi, Turbo. I can barely see him on my phone. It's terrible. I'm like actually looking at another screen to be able to try to read things.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I was gonna say we can tell that you're on the.
Like I'm struggling.
It's okay though. We appreciate you. Look, we appreciate you joining us. Right, you're a trooper.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No.
Life is crazy, so we appreciate it.
It really is. It really is. And when you're trying to sell your house, it's very crazy.
I did not enjoy any of that experience, by the way.
No.
Did not enjoy any of that experience. So
no,
I can relate.
Yep. But you got to do what you got to do. So
that's right.
Was that post, was that the one where it was the guy who has a Bitcoin treasury? He's the head of Bitcoin treasury.
No. This is
one. Okay, it was similar.
Oh, go ahead.
It was similar. Can you pull that one up?
I don't think I have that one.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think I have that one yet.
I think it was included in there because it's like somebody who's like, because there's a comment in there like, that's not really a good look for somebody who's running a Bitcoin treasury. Because he was saying almost the same thing. He's like, okay, I'm not, I've got this and I've got that and I've got my stocks as a backup plan. And in case it doesn't work out, in case number one.
Oh no, we talked about that was Joe Burnett. That was Joe Burnett with the amplified BTC.
Okay.
Yeah, but we already talked about that, Phil. That was where Joe said, we buy the foundation and then buy the amplified BTC and then have my stocks and my stocks and cash in case I'm wrong.
Something happens, yeah.
Yeah, but like this is different because I think it was a matter of they're talking about how it's almost like a protest, an active protest against Bitcoin because of Core 30. And that, hey, I'm so important because of me stacking versus the world in a free market global economy that I'm going to let everyone know that I'm no longer buying. I'm not going to sell because just in case it goes up. I am no longer buying as a show of visual protest so that something can change to fit my vision for what Bitcoin's supposed to be. And like Phil said, it really doesn't matter that one person decides to not buy anymore. Get in line with the rest of the normies. Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin's going to do. And, and we're going to show this in a minute, but a lot of this core versus knots debate is so small, in such a small micro segment of the population. There it is right there.
Yeah.
That, people are buying Bitcoin and they have no clue. Half the people that Alex Thorne runs into, forget the regulars that are out there buying, their little sats here or there. Half the people that Alex Thorne is interacting with, they're like, what? Like, hey, just give me is Bitcoin going to 250 next year or not? Let me know so I can plan my purchases and selling. You know, that's really what Bitcoin is about. And I think I'm using the similar what would be, I forget the terminology, but that's sort of like the core of the Venn diagram that brings all different types of people from all different types of cultures and all different types of incentives to Bitcoin. The number go up. And so, you know, the programmers are going to have a slice of the layer, but it's so minuscule right now. And the catch is, if it hasn't broken Bitcoin, then it's going to continue on. And we have to put this in context. And it's just not like our little sphere of 50,000 people that care about the multiple layers of Bitcoin. We need a what kind of awakening do we need? Maybe Bitcoin needs to pump in order to shut the people up who are saying it's going to die because of Core 30. I would love to see that. And then that argument goes away.
These numbers should be really enlightening.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because it just goes to show the insane echo chamber that we are all in, that makes everybody think that everything is just so loud and so important. Yeah, and this is Narwhal, that is exactly the point, right? Like, none of these people, they have no idea, right? Like, they don't know what a node is. They don't understand any of this. This goes back to the point of there is a product that Wallstreet has created called Bitcoin, right? And then there's what we as Bitcoin enjoyers know as Bitcoin. It has a token, and it has a network, and it has these qualities that cannot be changed, okay? And that cannot be and that cannot be co-opted by a government or any of that good stuff, okay? So it's a different thing. It's a completely different thing. And Main Street, they genuinely don't give a shit about any of this. They really, really don't.
Main Street and Wall Street.
And Wall Street. But my point is, I'm not saying this to discredit the argument in any way. It has to do with perception as reality. And to the people that are being sold this idea that Bitcoin is going down because of this tribal battle that is happening in a minuscule part of the internet, you're buying a story that's a total lie. It's a complete fabrication. It's just too bad. And again, it's not to say, hey, you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in or any of that stuff. Absolutely, right? Like, I've said this time and time again. I don't agree with what Core did. I don't agree with the way that they rolled it out. I don't agree with any of that stuff. I believe that they could have done a way better job with this. I believe that they could have done this differently. I mean, all of that good stuff, right? It's just such a shame. It really is just such a shame that we get stuck with this. Because to me, this is, again, it's a giant nothing burger that is steering some people in the wrong way. And it's steering people away from Bitcoin even, right? So the people that like end up really liking Bitcoin, okay, and that want to learn more about it, and that do end up going down the rabbit hole and end up in the far reaches of the internet where they meet the rest of us.
Right.
Well, they end up getting turned off by this, by this type of tribalism and stuff like that. Anyways, but again, that's another point that I ended up learning. Why should we care? Well, apparently we want adoption. But it's not at any cost. We want adoption, but it's not at any cost.
No,
It's a slippery slope. It's a lot of gray areas. It's, people try to pretend that it's all cut and dry, and it just is not. Like this is what adoption looks like. It's ugly, it's messy, it's people not agreeing, it's all of this. It's sketchy people paying coders to write code. This is how we skirt by this topic very easily. No, I mean, we talked about this a few times, but yeah.
We did.
Huh?
No, we did. We talked about this, right?
But yeah, this is the screenshot of the some of the data that has leaked about the the Epstein stuff, and exactly right. He was told that the Bitcoin Foundation was going bankrupt and saw this as an opportunity. And again, I'm not excusing it away. A lot of bad money comes let me rephrase that. A lot of money comes from less than noble places. This is the nature of the beast. You know, it's part of the price that to me, like it's part of the price that gets paid. You know, like we weren't there. We weren't the ones making those decisions. You know, maybe you wouldn't have taken that money. Maybe I wouldn't have taken that money. Maybe Humble wouldn't have. Right? But we weren't there to make those decisions.
Right.
Lucky for us, Bitcoin doesn't depend on that crap. Lucky for us, right? That doesn't actually influence what happens with the Bitcoin network. So,
and anyone who thinks that it I guess disqualifies Bitcoin from doing Bitcoin is in for a rude awakening. For them to say, I refuse to buy Bitcoin out of moral principle. At some point, you're going to buy Bitcoin out of critical necessity.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And those same people would have absolutely no problem banking with JP Morgan, even though they know that JP Morgan helped facilitate all of this. They ignored all of the red flags.
Yep.
They would have no problem.
Nope.
It shows how far gone and manipulated people's mindsets are. They think they have the moral high ground, but they excuse things that are multiple times worse because, or multiple times even greater from a volume perspective. Because guess what? Because those people hold the megaphone. Those people have the marketing advantage. That's why so many Bitcoiners have taken up the marketing avenue. It's like they don't need to rely on truth and substance. If they just have a good marketing campaign, they can close a few sales and ride off into the sunset. But that's not hyper Bitcoinization.
No, it's not. Roman says that Humble, you're coming in low.
That's
so
what.
Yeah.
That's so weird. But
Don't see, Ulric, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask people if people think Humble's coming in low. Chime in the comments. If everyone's okay, except for me and Roman, then so be it.
Strange. I don't know what I can do. What can I do? I can't.
Keep doing what you're doing, because if Phil can hear you, then the recording can hear you, and we're good.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to. Maybe is there some way for me to adjust? Maybe I can edit mic settings. Maybe I can edit.
I already turned her up.
You turn. Okay, so but maybe what if I? Oh wow! I just saw it go all the way up. This is
that was me moving it.
Okay, so you put it under. Oh wow!
I just changed mine. I just changed the mic setting to iPhone microphone. Does that make it better?
Much better.
Really? How weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Or what? Or maybe. But see, Phil did something too, so I don't know what worked. But anyways, there we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well. All right, so now we got the audio back up again. I think you might even be a little louder than the rest of us, but it's okay. It's fine.
Well,
if she's louder, let me know. But for right now, she sounds great for me.
Okay. Okay. Is this still okay?
You're fine. Don't change anything. Let's keep going.
That
whole drama brought more people to
say,
okay, before you watch too long on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. The water's actually nicer over here. I want you guys to turn off Twitter, click the YouTube link, and join us on the YouTube live. Just trust me, it's cooler.
The volume is better there. How about that?
Okay,
there you go. Yeah, that.
Turn off the volume.
Narwhal is saying sounds good to him. Okay.
Good.
All right, thank you guys.
We're good.
Thank you for the interaction. We're going live. Sometimes these things happen, but guess what? If Humble didn't come, she wouldn't have brought the whole schoolyard with her. So we're happy you're here.
The milkshake. That's great.
So
my God.
This is your article. This is what you shared. We're gonna. Were you gonna say something else?
Well, no, because we'll talk about it more later. That's fine. I mean, we'll talk about Epstein a million times over, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Limit Epstein.
100%. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like, so you put this in the in our chat.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. So okay, so Simon Dixon, he's being Blackrock'd, and this account usually posts false and misleading content about BlackRock. For accurate information about our business, please visit our website. He must have really pissed them off, and I'm guessing it had something to do with this post again, right? Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Epstein saga was simply a reminder that BlackRock and the financial class want Trump aligned.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, I saw that and I was like, is this a joke? Like, they literally have an account just for this. And they do. They really do.
This account was repurposed in February of 25. They basically are an independent fact-checking that has 91,000 followers and very little engagement. And they just go around anytime someone mentions BlackRock, or not anytime, but maybe some people that are more highly astute, like Dixon with a following, and they will reply under and say this is misleading, and they'll provide counter evidence. So it's very interesting.
How do you get a job like that?
They usurped the whole fact-checking thing and did their own.
Oh my God. Let's start a business doing that. Like, we'll just go onto these social media platforms, go up into the search bar, type in BlackRock, and then go through everything, decide what we want to respond, and use AI to present the facts. And oh my gosh, we'll be like raking in the dough.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Well, we'll create bots that do this.
Yeah, exactly. Even better.
It got me thinking, though. Do you guys remember when there were those commercials? I think it was commercials or ads that were stating that BlackRock wasn't actually buying single family homes, right? And that was actually not true, right? Like they were trying to convince you, like, no, the banks aren't buying over all these homes. It's not true.
But it wasn't. Well, it wasn't BlackRock. It was a BlackRock spinoff called Blackstone.
Blackstone.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, but there also is Blackstone.
Yeah.
Blackstone.
Separate
Blackstone was buying the single family homes. And at some point, I believe
they Blackstone. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But they were like it was like if someone wanted to come out with an article that was fake news, but there were plenty of articles that said Blackstone was buying, and those people weren't the aluminum tinfoil hat people. They were legitimate, mainstream publications. So it's like, but guess what? When you take control, I think lesson learned for marketing, when you have money to throw at, controlling a narrative, people will say, hey, this person has something to say. They're taking the time out of their busy schedule to defend themselves in the public sphere. And people will give credit to that. And I think that's just the psychology of reading of who has the louder megaphone. BlackRock says, no, if they're going to go step down the ladder to knock on Dixon's door and say, no, you're a liar, or you're fabricating, people are going to say, wow, like that must be really bad. Or Dixon says, hey, all news is good news for him. So
yeah, but it's like in general, this account has a history of, presenting misinformation essentially, or disinformation, both. Who knows? Like it's like, okay, well, that's great. I
like his account though. I mean, obviously it's, it's, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, right? You can't just like automatically trust everything, right? Like you can appreciate if somebody confirms your biases, then it's great, but at the same time, it's, everybody, we're all humans and we can't help but, support certain things and be against other things and things that support, our, upbringing and whatnot. But overall, I think he nails the complexities of the military industrial complex, and he nails the connecting the dots.
He does.
Is what I was trying to say.
And there's a lot of emotion that goes along with it. Yep, for sure.
Sorry, I'm just getting all of our stuff ready for the
next cycle.
How many more screenshots? Sorry, give me 1 sec. Almost done here. That's right. We're teaching people definitions. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. We're gonna play the word game.
Hey guys, just so you know, as Phil is of course uploading these next pictures, of course they're teasers to what we'll be talking about. So if something registered to you, stick around. We're going to be talking about everything that Phil is uploading into our StreamYard. Just be patient with us.
Okay, hold on. We're getting a question here.
How long do we go? In terms of a live show, we normally go 1.5 hours to 2
hours. He's saying how low do we go?
Low.
Low.
let's talk about that while Phil's loading.
No,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. But we can
Humble,
talk about
Humble, how low do we go? You said you're bearish. Give us a number real quick.
I'm thinking 20s to 30s.
How
And
low? Okay.
that's without looking at a chart, mind you. That's just like, I feel like this is a very significant attack on Bitcoin right now.
Okay. 20 to 30. Phil, what about you?
we already
The local low. You already hit it. We already hit it.
the local low. I believe we already hit it.
You don't think we're turning back around to 75? You think that this is this? Yeah. So
I think, yeah.
I think I agree with Phil, and I think Humble, you missed the conversation earlier. I do believe that the cycle is dead, and for as another teaser, guys, we're finally going to get Lawrence Lepard on the show, December 12th, again with all the with all the capitulation and selling off. He had to pick up some phone calls. He had to cancel on us again. We're going to give him shit for it, of course, but he's going to join us and he's going to give his own perspective on why he also thinks the cycle theory is at risk. And maybe we go into another way of looking at Bitcoin. But for my reason, yeah, I do think that we are in a local low, again, all-time drop in terms of just overall volume. But I can't see Bitcoin losing that much in terms of, that's a lot of sellers from back in the day that are saying, yeah, I'm out. I just don't, I think there's a lot more conviction from people from 2020, 2018, and in 2022. And I just feel like we have a lot more to go than to see it go down all the way to 20K. So again, big macro thing could happen, black swan, but I don't see that. I see a lot of bullish or positive things. I see a new Fed chair. I see general quantitative easing coming, or at least quantitative tightening ending. So I think we're in good graces with the price action, but you know, we all who knows at the end of the day.
Yeah,
right.
I think the retail did not. I don't believe. Yeah, retail has not come back. I think it's a bunch of institutional buyers, and I think these institutions are smart to what this asset is. And I think Lawrence is going to talk about that a little bit in mid-December. So you know, he's going to talk about the structure of how these institutions plan on, like, plot out their course for buying Bitcoin. They're believers now. They believe that Bitcoin is at least gold 2.0. So what do you do with gold 2.0? You buy gold and wait for things to unwind, because the institutions, guess what? They have 100-year time span, 200-year time span. At some point, will the dollar be around in 200 years, 150 years? It may not be, you know? So then, therefore, what's the alternative? Is it gold, or is it gold 2.0? Or is it another currency? I think that these institutions have caught on where the retail has slept. But guess what? We were the retail at one point. In a few years, we'll be institution level, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think we are going to hire a chief operating visionary officer.
Is this like, is that like the weird positions for the Bitcoin treasury companies?
Yes, that's the
weird operating visionary. Okay.
Mark Moss from Mastodon or whatever that was. Matador.
He's the chief Matador. Thank you. He's the chief visionary officer. I've always wanted a fake title like that, right? Where I could make it up and like make it sound super cool. But it's like, I know it's fake. How do I project that it means something?
Well, that's what those guys that were wearing the tank tops that they were doing. They were coming up with all their titles. It's so corny, man. I'm sorry. And I mean, Corey and I were watching the NBA Finals last July. He told me, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm in like, you know, something financial group." And I just looked at Corey. I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about, man? Like this is corny, man." And he just shrugged his shoulders, and I'm like, I mean, it's all in good fun, but I called him out, like, that's not funny to me, bro. Like, I may be from the suburbs, but I'm at least, I got a little street in me. That's the most opposite from street I've ever seen. It's just it's fake, man. It's fake. It's not tough. It's not hard at all. Anyways, I don't want those people to be mad at me or anything. It's just I'll call corny when I see it.
Absolutely. What are you drinking, Humble?
Water.
Water. Okay, so we've got. I just finished coffee. Now it's water time, and you've got that sludge, whatever that is. Ulric.
Sludge.
It's
No,
like
what is
biomass. It's to help you
Biomass.
get more,
Yeah.
like to make water essentially more efficient and
Ah,
electrolytes.
Makes sense.
What is it? What is
I
it
sweat
called?
easily. I forget the product. We'll put in the show notes.
Okay, that's
But
great.
it's like no, I drink it and it's like I sweat less because when I sweat, I lose a lot of whatchamacallit, like electrolytes
Electrolytes,
and
yeah.
sodium. So this helps me hold it in a little more, almost like creatine, but like because it will help you hold water in your muscles. But this just helps you hold water like generally in the rest of your body. Yep.
Oh, how do your kidneys like that?
This doesn't hurt your kidneys. Yeah, creatine hurts your kidneys to a degree, but not. Yeah, as long as you drink water, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Our health segment. There you go.
Our health segment brought to you by Underground. Go check our show notes for some links to our supplement section.
Oh my gosh! If we start selling supplements, we get so big.
Oh yeah, I know. I know so
what?
many shows like they're doing
my
that.
God.
It's like their sponsor. It's like, oh my God, seriously, what has happened?
I had family who was like part of like the, like they were like shilling the Rexall stuff.
Yeah.
Like glutathione or something like that.
Amino acids or something.
Yeah, it's like essentially it's like $200 a month of like these powders that you got to drink.
Yeah, pyramid scheme. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's and of course you fight off cancer. You just live forever until you die.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I'm surprised. You know what? Probably after that to the Brian Johnson guy there, that vampire who thinks he's going to live forever. that guy looks so unhealthy. It's like my biomarkers are the best in humanity. It's like, yeah, bro, you should try to eat something.
No, I feel like he's a Boston Resident Evil. That's what he looks like. So,
okay, so back to the real stuff. Back to Bitcoin. This whole thing this was one of those the announcement of an announcement. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't see this coming from Dennis Porter. But this came from.
He obviously thinks that the bear market is here. He's probably.
Oh, that's right.
Well, no. He had a post today where he's looking for more recommendations for policy that he can shill to some senators. So.
Get in on this. He didn't
He's run out of steam. He's run out of bullets. That's funny.
You know who wrote this story? It was the the Rumble CEO or something like that. Not the CEO, but anyways.
What happened?
The Connor Brown. Sorry, Connor Brown is that actually. That broke this story.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Dennis Porter, right? It was this guy Connor Brown.
Right.
So yeah, but the Bitcoin for America Act codifies the strategic Bitcoin reserve executive order, exempts Bitcoin payments of tax liabilities from capital gains, holds Bitcoin tax payments in the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Tax payments could then be saved rather than spent. Sound money is essential to defending freedom. So look, obviously, it's in terms of a country's perception. I think that it's appreciated, but like codified the strategic Bitcoin reserve, like that doesn't. To me, like, so what? So that just means that, like, yeah, from now on, we have to steal your Bitcoin. mandated that we steal your Bitcoin and then put it in a strategic reserve. I do appreciate the exempt Bitcoin payments of tax liabilities from capital gains. Not gonna lie. Anybody who actually accumulates Bitcoin and uses Bitcoin, I mean, right? Why not? Like that's a win.
And also, if you're willing to part with your Bitcoin to pay taxes, I mean, you can't help the United States. You can't blame the United States for wanting to hold it and use it for their own.
Exactly.
Don't give the United States your Bitcoin if you're mad at them for using it for their own incentives. And it's funny, we talk about this, the old Lummis Strategic Reserve Act, which is so trash and so dead. I think she's one of the funniest actors out there. But it's like the whole premise of it is that they buy Bitcoin. Even this one, you save Bitcoin. What are you saving it for? Well, you save it to pay down the debt. Does everyone not know that we complain that BlackRock is selling, or the ETF holders are selling, the short-term holders are selling, and we want the United States to buy a bunch of Bitcoin so that they can sell it, so that they can create the biggest selling event in Bitcoin history? I'm sorry, like, can we just take a step back and say that's not what I want? I rather the dollar fall off a cliff and Bitcoin continually go up and them basically going down with the ship than for them to buy Bitcoin, use it to sell off and reduce the national debt so they can go print some more money and kick the can down 80 million football fields more. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The incentives are so screwed up, but guess what? People drink the Kool-Aid of it. Sounds great to have your country buy Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
I really don't care.
No.
Like, it wasn't made for that. It's made to create a new monetary system, not for the United States to save its debt. Just so you know, they're just going to print more. Once, if they went down, if they cut it in half, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go right back up to 40 trillion in no time, or wherever they cut it from.
They don't just become more fiscally responsible.
No.
Right? Like, just because they have assets, it doesn't make them more fiscally responsible. Right? Like, it's it's kind of nonsense. It's kind of nonsense. Yeah. And I mean,
but guess what? The no capital gains. I like that.
Right.
Like, by all means, let's let it be money. So it's like, Cynthia Lummis dropped the ball. I hope this makes it into a short. Cynthia Lummis dropped the ball by not placing Bitcoin free from capital gains in her strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act. The idea that we should support something about the United States buying so they can sell is asinine. This guy, Representative Davis, is the only politician I could see getting behind, because he's going to save me from where it actually counts, which is my taxes. I don't want to have to pay taxes for selling my Bitcoin. Davis is the guy that I would back because he's going to work out my incentives. Cynthia doesn't work out my incentives. It's just a political shill. Turn that into a short.
Yeah.
That was kind of long.
No, it'll fit.
45 seconds.
45 seconds. It'll fit. Don't worry. All right. Well, guys, we are at that point in the cycle. You know which point that is?
No.
200,000. No.
This is a post from friend to the show, fellow Bitcoiner, right? He is the CEO of Mana, right? If you don't know what Mana wallet, you should check it out. Solid mobile Bitcoin wallet. No, they are not a sponsor of the show. There's no ref link, blah, blah, blah. But I know he's a solid Bitcoiner and I appreciate him. So yeah. So it begins. Now, again, granted, I don't know if this is doctored or not. However, I do know that there are Bitcoiners that definitely have loans against their Bitcoin. So this is not far-fetched, right? And for the people to understand the context, he put this out, right? This post was out when we did the massive drop into the 70s. So
no. What are you dealing in Canadian dollars or euros?
No.
We didn't go into the 70s.
Sorry. 80.7.
Yeah.
I thought we hit like 79 or 78.
No.
Oh, we will though.
Girl, no, we ain't.
It's gonna happen.
But we could put some stats on that. I like to.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about. No, never mind. I have bad luck.
Oh, we did
my fantasy football team.
Yeah.
No,
anyways,
it's not.
Yeah,
but
it's good. Okay, thank God.
I do think it may be weird. It's a weird post because Jack Mallers did reply to it.
He did.
And he said that no one, no one has been margin called, and
okay, good.
They say they put that somehow. It's like
it's a warning.
No one's liquidated.
No, so hold on.
It's a warning. What Jack put up there, it's a warning. They don't actually do that until 75%. But like Ulric said, nobody's been liquidated. So it's kind of like they're warning you before you get too close to that 75, and nobody has.
I almost say like he didn't even like I don't know what he was counting, but I don't, Adam has been learning the tricks of the trade in regards to engagement, and he has put out some
hyperbolic,
not even hyperbolic, just lacking in in full truths in his tweets for the sake of getting a 800 to 1,000 likes, and which is fine. He gets monetized, but Adam's turning into the person that you may have to be cautious of what he's posting, and don't take it for absolute truth. Take it for a meme. Take it for an interesting story. He even confessed to Jack that he put this out just for the current
engagement.
Oh, is there a community note on it? I wonder if there's.
No, Jack Mahler's. He actually community noted himself, if you will.
Oh,
no,
wow. Nice.
Oh, he community noted it. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
how do you know
Adam,
that?
No, Adam just
Adam
replied to
did.
his
Oh,
own,
okay.
the Mahlers replied to him, and then Adam replied back saying, "Hey, I just put this out just because of the climate, because we're in basically a free fall." So, but long story short, Adam is thirsty. It's so funny. I mean, that's a rough way of saying it, but he does like the engagement with his MSTR posts and his strike posts. But I will say that we are in that time frame with a sharp drawdown.
That's right.
Take a loan out.
A sharp drawdown.
You're going to be if you're taking that loan out and that was your whole lifeline. Your Bitcoin could be someone else's Bitcoin real soon, and we on the Pleb Underground have talked about that recently.
Yes.
I feel like this happens so fast. Like we were just talking about these products coming out,
It was like it was in April or March. And I said, why does it have to come out? It had to come out when it was 100,000 because it came out. So I was like, why does this kind of stuff happen at the top of a bull market? Why don't they put these things out when Bitcoin is 30,000? It's like and coming off the FTX event, hey, it's like blood in the streets, but we'll let you take a loan out. Well, because they want to reserve an opportunity to potentially liquidate you. They don't just want to give you the opportunity to print money for free.
Bingo. It's not enough. It's not enough that they make money on the loan.
That's
the icing on the cake is to take your shit. Icing on the cake. Anyway, awful. Absolutely awful. But hey, it's business, right? It's business.
That's right. You don't have to take the loan.
You don't have to take the loan. Exactly. Right. You as a customer opt to do this.
And some people have benefited. Some people have done well with their loan.
Of course. Absolutely.
I think someone was talking about how they use it to, what's his name, who lives down southeast, but he's a friend of the show. But he said he used it to work on his sister's house. But guess what? He's a longtime Bitcoiner. He's probably not going to get liquidated because he can redeploy capital. For most people who are taking out loans because they need it, absolute need.
That's right.
Be cautious. If you're going to take a loan out, is this financial advice? I don't know. Let's try to find what you think may be the actual local bottom. Like if it goes down to 30,000, take a loan out against your Bitcoin. But then guess what? It's like 60% down from there is a lot less in market capital. And it could get margin called much quicker. So, it's all the same exposure to a volatile asset, no matter what. That's why it's better to take a loan out against, what do you take? Equity line of credit against the house. Why? Because the houses generally are a little more stable. Again, I'm not trying to give financial advice, but your Bitcoin, it's not worth going 4-to-1 just to lose it all for a few $1,000.
No. Yeah, I agree. All right. We're going to talk about the culture. It's culture time.
Oh boy.
It is. Yeah, that's right. It is culture time. Yeah. Hold on a second. These long
that's at the same time. Yeah, I agree. That's right. You got to be a semi-OG. You got to be there for a cycle and a half when you have you've stacked. Right. And then it's then maybe you take a little share of that. Like it's like if you have 10 Bitcoin, you take a loan out against 2. If you have 5 Bitcoin, you take a loan out against 1, but not now I'm going to put it all on Celsius. It's like, damn.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. The culture. All right. So this is how it all started, guys. Follow along with me here. The autistic mind can't comprehend that evil people need Bitcoin too. This is how it starts. Okay. This is how it starts. Just follow along. So Mark responds back. Mark Goodwin goes, I think the autistic mind understands that quite well. Everyone chirping about their own conclusions and no one actually reading the series. Many such cases. And obviously, so they're talking about specifically, right? This goes back to Humble's point of talking about Epstein, right? So Whitney Webb with Mark Goodwin last year, who we had on the show to discuss not Whitney, we had Mark on the show to discuss exactly this, all of these connections. Mark's been on the show twice now to discuss all of this insane web of connections between NGOs, right, the companies, and all of these different 3-letter agencies. So moving on, right? Moving on from this. Mr. Hodl writes back and goes, I only read things I'm genuinely curious about. I can't read Bitcoin-related things anymore. I can't even listen to Bitcoin podcasts anymore. Do you guys come to a different conclusion? So Mark responds back and goes, that's fine, but maybe don't make public conclusions about stuff you didn't read. And yes, Bitcoin culture is absolutely retarded these days, and I'm very glad I more or less sold the top of it and walked away from working in it before 2025. All right. Mr. Hodl responds back and goes, in it for the tech. Bitcoin doesn't have a culture. It never did. My cousin, who has more Bitcoin than me, doesn't know anything about the people involved with Bitcoin. So Mark responds back and goes, it does have a culture. It has a huge multi-million-dollar culture industry. I know what you're trying to say, but the reality is that there are at least 100 people making close to or above 6 figures working in Bitcoin culture. It is what it is. I do agree. It is best to ignore. So Mr. Hodl responds back and goes, who's making six figures besides exchanges? And what does making money have to do with culture? I'm not following. We're wrapping this up in a sec. It has a huge, right? So he responds back and he goes, it has a huge culture industry. You can argue that it is completely separate from Bitcoin itself, which is fine, but there is undoubtedly a significant Bitcoin culture. And the money available to participants reveals both consumers and creators in said culture. Mr. Hodl responds back to him and tells him he's scamming himself. So I wrote back and I go, just because you ignore that something exists doesn't make it not exist. Right? So see below, all of this exists in and around Bitcoin. And this is how we ended up with the dictionary version of what does culture mean. Now, so does Bitcoin have a culture? Here it is. The arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. Number 2, the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. I got to tell you, Bitcoin definitely has culture. Bitcoin has a whole bunch of different cultures. The same way it has a whole bunch of different communities, right? The same way that there's a whole bunch of different communities that use the dollar for their purchases, right? And for their businesses. It's all there is to it. Like, this is just a social layer. This is a natural occurring social layer around a monetary network. I just don't understand. Like, why do people have to believe that there is no culture?
Because I think there is
the same way he also didn't want to believe that there were plebs, right? He's like, and he used to, and that's why a bunch of us jokingly would be like, he's the king of plebs.
Who?
Right? Like Mr. Hodl. Yeah, we call him. For many years now, we've called him the king of plebs.
Right, which is a cultural.
Because he denies that they exist.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Mr. Hodl is being a contrarian, and which is fine, but he's also saying there's no one singular culture, and I think that Mr. Hodl is trying to zoom in on that particularly. But Mark Goodwin, who worked at Bitcoin Magazine, experienced the most cultural impact, and keep that up there for a minute so we can draw examples. But he worked at Bitcoin Magazine that dealt with the arts, that dealt with the social institutions, the conferences, the podcasts, the magazine. He was the editor for the magazine. And so it's like these types of things he was more adept and involved in than the average person. However, The problem is, and we talk about this often, is that the 50,000 people that are involved in the Bitcoin culture is a small segment of people that are involved in Bitcoin. Mr. Hodl gave a reference to his cousin who has more Bitcoin than him. And so I do feel like this, but Mark Goodwin's reaction in saying Bitcoin's no good because of the culture is like saying that, Bitcoin is no good because of money laundering or whatever happened with Epstein. It's such a small microcosm of Bitcoin's relationship and such a far-reaching relationship to it that it ends up becoming minuscule or inconsequential to Bitcoin overall. So the fact that Mark Goodwin sold because the culture is bad is kind of coping, and he probably just hopes that he sold the top, which he's going to be wrong. But him bringing his emotions into his financial endeavors. Look, it's not, Bitcoin ain't killing anyone outright. So I understand if you want to protest something because it's Bitcoin naturally is infringing on human rights. Bitcoin is. And I remember someone said that, I think Bution or something like that.
Correct.
And it's like, because of that, you have to kind of put your ego, which is part of your emotions, aside and say, hey, I may not want to I may not want to hang out with you guys anymore, but gosh, for the sake of my future, my family's future, let's call reality. Bitcoin is real and it's not going anywhere because I don't like the people that I've associated with. So both of them are kind of having a weird little argument, and thus is X dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just more focusing on the actual, I don't, it's Mr. Hodl and Mark. It's more about the discussion in my eyes about, what is Bitcoin's culture. And there are obviously not just a single defining point in culture. I didn't get that takeaway that he was saying that Mr. Hodl was saying there is no single culture. I understand
none at all.
Saying, yeah, because to your point, right? He was explaining exactly there. He gave the example of his cousin, right? Just, hey, yeah, my cousin holds a bunch of Bitcoin. He's not involved in any of this. That's exactly right.
And he is, because he's on He's on spaces all the time. That's a cultural.
He's talking about his cousin. He's talking about his cousin.
No, I'm saying there's no culture, but he's involved in spaces all the time. Like he literally is sitting there like it's happy hour, like toxic happy hour. Is that not culture when Anders was running that, or the one that you and Humble do? If he's there, there's a culture. That's cultural activity. You guys are sitting around celebrating intellectual achievement by a group of people. He's just being contrarian to piss Mark off. And it was kind of funny because Mark's trying to act like he's not angry, but Mark is generally angry, and that's why he can work with Whitney Webb, because she seems kind of angry too. Anyways,
I mean, I think there's culture, but then there's like subcultures, right? I mean, wouldn't that be? I mean, because if you're talking, he's got like his cousin who has no idea. He just holds Bitcoin. Like, does he even know why he holds Bitcoin? Is he just holding Bitcoin because somebody told him to? Yeah, I mean, is that why? That's so really not much culture there. But then there's like culture surrounding the Bitcoin white paper and why most people are like, okay, well, this is kind of why I got into this. It's like there's like the revolutionaries, and there's people that are like, well, this is just really cool. And I mean, there's like the social aspect of it, right? You've got like the Bitcoin Twitter, Bitcoin X, we still call it Bitcoin Twitter culture. That's totally different than what a lot of other people would expect. So there's not just one culture, that's for sure. I mean, I know that like in the past we've used the word community. Like Bitcoin is, no, we don't have a community here, guys. Like, oh, okay. We don't have an ecosystem. Yeah, well, Bitcoin doesn't have any of those things. So let's talk about subculture then and sub communities. Who knows?
I mean, telling you a Bitcoin army is not a type of culture. People are making AI versions of themselves and plastering some a badge on them, like they're in literally a club. So for Hodl to say that, he's just he's just trolling, and and Mark took the bait.
To go back to his point though about his cousin, right, not being involved, and therefore as a result, Bitcoin has no culture. I just want to go back to that, because the reality is that this is as we know, it's a voluntary network. So we are going to, like, whatever emerges is going to emerge as a result of those qualities that Bitcoin has. And that's one of them. So this is why I think we end up seeing all of these, right? Like all of these different types of groups, right? Like, look, Eastside Tony's bringing up the stack chainers, right? Rourke's talking about the Code tribe, right? You've got like the memers, stuff like that. Like you have all these, then you have like all the privacy guys, then you have like a whole bunch of people, all they do is work on Lightning, right? Like that may not be a culture, but guess what? They have conferences that they attend. They have gatherings, right? They have meetups.
Look at this intellectual achievement regarding collectively.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you're describing.
And it's like, yes, look, exactly. 58K gang. It's like, man, it's like you may not want to agree with all this stuff, but it's real. It's real. It's happening, and people choose to create this stuff, right? They choose to create it. They want it to exist.
And here we go. Here we go.
What are we doing?
Here we go. I got you. There is such a thing as decentralized culture. Okay. So at its core, decentralized culture refers to a set of values, norms, practices, institutions, or organizational forms where authority, decision-making, and meaning aren't concentrated in a single central locus, so person, office, institution, but are instead distributed across multiple actors, levels, or nodes. There you go.
And that's how a lot of these groups materialize. The memers and Good Morning Bitcoin and whatever has and the Swan old group that used to happen before it got throttled, and then there's the centralized cultures like the Bitcoin Magazine is like they are cultivating a cultural product so that people can feel affinity towards them, so they'll go to conferences, they'll buy t-shirts, they'll support their events. And so it's like there's both centralized and decentralized cultures, and then there are people who choose to ignore all of them. And we have to ignore that kind of stuff is kind of asinine. But to say that Bitcoin is going to fail or succeed because of those cultures is also crazy too, because you ignore the majority of people who aren't participating in any of them.
So here you go. Here's an interesting take here from Narwhal, right? Virtually every shitcoin promotes its manufactured culture. In all fairness, they promote community.
Yes, they do. That's what they're all about.
Community. But yeah, culture is a buzzword for shitcoining. If you're looking for culture in Bitcoin, you don't understand Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree in terms of like looking for culture, right? Like if you're seeking to be a part of something, like look, you're going to find whatever it is you're seeking, right? Like that is the point of the search. The search is to block out all other results and to find what it is you're seeking. However, in terms of there being an actual culture, like, yeah, there is one. And indeed, it is, I'd say, mostly marketing based, right? Like, and not only that, but it revolves around selling products and or services. This is no different.
Those are the cultivated ones. Those are the centralized ones.
Different than anything else. This is no different than anything else in any of our human behavior, right? Like this is just par for the course, but yeah,
which is why we are so cautious as these new cultures pop up, especially in an accelerated fashion. You got to wonder what's funding it, what's the purpose of it. I mean, remember Log Scale? I mean, he's creating this. I mean, every Twitter space is its own. Every continual Twitter space that has these regular shows is a form of culture. And sometimes those cultures are leveraged to become advertising avenues where people are like, hey, I got 1,000 people that watch me every day. You want to come show your product? It'll cost you this much money. You can come on stage and talk about it. And that's it. And all of a sudden it's, it doesn't matter if it's helping the people out. But the fact is that that guy paid to talk to your audience. That's a cultivated, centralized culture. Especially when people feel belonging and affinity, and you can talk to those people, in a tangible way. That's what shows like the Toxic Happy Hour had. I'm not saying that Anders or Pubby monetized that. I'm almost certain they didn't. But it's like these people were able to come on to these shows like Jeff Booth or James Lavish or Jeff Ross or Mark Yusko, especially Mark Yusko. And it's like Mark Yusko doesn't care about Bitcoin, but guess what? He sees that Anders and Pubby have about 1,000 people listening on every single day. It's like, hey, maybe I can tell you about what I'm working on, and I can get more people involved. Some low level, low key anon people with a bunch of corn to invest in these marketing or these financial stunts I'm running.
Yeah.
And Swan was funding everyone, of course.
Yep, I remember that.
All centralized culture.
Exactly.
It made you feel like you were a part of it, but at the end of the day, it was truly. And then Swan did change and say, hey, we're not really about the plebs, we're really about high net worth individuals, which guess what? That's their incentive. But the plebs who thought that, they really care about me, you have to understand they're a business and they're profitable, and just maybe you aren't that profitable. And you have to go find your own club. And it's okay. Guess what? The pleb underground, we're here to share foundational, realistic Bitcoin content. And that's going to create, and that is creating its own culture, because people want to deal in truth, or at least honesty. And we want to find these answers honestly without any risk of saying, hey, I wonder why they're telling me this. I wonder if because Marathon, padded Ulric's pockets. No, although I hope that Marathon stopped diluting their shares, but that's beside the point.
Diluting.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Have we talked about delisting already? Did you guys talk about that before I came on?
Oh yeah, that was the first topic.
It was
Taylor. Yes.
Yeah,
Michael said,
okay.
I don't
Actually,
think they're definitely not delisting from the NASDAQ, but they may be delisted from that other thing that's not as popular as the NASDAQ. So that guy kind of exacerbated the story.
He did, yeah. But there's something in 2026 that could indeed happen, correct?
That's right. That other fund or index, that HCSI. I'd never heard of it before that.
Yeah, MSTI.
Yeah, MSCI. Sorry, I mean I don't invest in index funds anyway. So
totally different.
If Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy is going up with it, just probably not as fast as 23 or 24. So all that listing and delisting, Michael Saylor just got to pray that Bitcoin recovers.
Well, there's also the point of he's supposed to be up again. MicroStrategy is up again to be part of the S&P, right?
Is that coming up again? Yeah. They're definitely not taking them now.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not going to take them now. So yeah, that's going to be a bumpy ride for that. Now, of course, if all of a sudden in the next that decision's supposed to go through December 3rd or the 5th, I believe. So if in the next week and a half,
even if they cross the threshold, they were there before.
I know.
Even if they got to sit there for,
they get rejected.
They got to sit there for 2 years.
Yeah, they're going to make them sweat. I mean, there are businesses that just they've been sitting there waiting years to get into the S&P. So, but yeah, guys, guess what? That's going to do it for this episode of the Roundtable. Humble, Ulric, as always, it's absolutely amazing to be doing this with you guys and the viewers and listeners on YouTube, Twitter, Rumble. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's absolutely awesome. Any final things that you want to say?
For me, just continue to support the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Remember that we ain't got nothing to sell to you except for good, honest Bitcoin content.
Yeah. Well, Thanksgiving's coming up, so I'm just going to put out there: stay strong at that dinner table, and You know, it's okay. It's okay. They're going to make fun of you. They are going to degrade you. They might yell at you because you told them to buy and they actually did buy. And they're like, oh my God, now I can't pay for my college tuition. Like, you know, just stay strong. It's okay. Yeah. And don't try to numb the pain with anything. Just take it. Take it. Stand strong, pleb.
I like that. I appreciate that. That's some good. That is some good positive reinforcement, because it is definitely not easy to face the family every time and always be the loser, even though you're actually winning. It's really difficult. Start to feel like you have a split personality or maybe a split brain. Anyways, yeah, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be on audio only tomorrow. So you could check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. And the only thing I have to shill is that tomorrow at 12:10 p.m. Eastern time, I will be back on. We're going to do some daily live news because, as you could imagine, even though we cover all these topics today, a whole bunch of stuff happens. Nothing ever stops happening in Bitcoin. And yes, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Everybody take it easy.
See ya.
Peace.